Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're doing well. As you can see, I got my hands on the new Yves Saint Laurent MYSLF Le Parfum. The first flanker in what I'm assuming is going to be a bunch of flankers down the road, because MYSLF is probably the biggest men's fragrance launch, biggest release in the past 5 years. And I think pretty comfortably the biggest one, because Sauvage came out almost a decade ago, and then YSL Y came out in 2017, and I don't think anything over the past 5 years has hit as quickly as MYSLF. So yeah, the new MYSLF, it has popped up at stores in the US, retail stores, but it looks like it's selling out like that. So I bought my bottle from Nordstrom, and actually I heard that this was for sale on Nordstrom, and I was like, oh sick, I'm gonna go check it out. It was already sold out. And then later that evening, I checked again, and it was back. So I bought it, and then legitimately the next morning, I checked again, gone. So as of this video going live, I don't know if it's gonna be back up for sale yet or if it's still gonna be sold out, I'm not sure, but it is popping up at US retailers. And it's pretty funny because you can go to Nordstrom right now as of when I'm shooting this video, and you can search for MYSLF. It'll pull up the Eau de Parfum. It won't pull this up anywhere, but then if you go through like Google results, you can find the page on Nordstrom where this one was available, and it just says like out of stock. Yeah, but should be readily available soon, I guess. So this one, the first flanker, as I said, to the OG, the first MYSLF, which just took the world by storm. A lot of people hate on this, a lot of people, but you know, truth be told, anytime a new designer fragrance comes out and it takes off as big as this one has, oh, it's gonna get hate, yeah. And part of it makes sense because the original MYSLF, you know, you smell that and yeah, super clean, really versatile, easy to wear, compliment puller, but is it anything that necessarily blows you away if you smelled a whole bunch of fragrances? Not really, but I will tell you, it grows on you like crazy, and the fact that it gets so much positive attention and it's so easy to wear means you're gonna find yourself reaching for it again and again and again. The question here is though, does the Le Parfum flanker do a good job at following up on this one? Does it take things a step further? Is it more interesting? Is it as usable? All that stuff we're gonna talk about here today. I'll have this one linked in the description along with the original MYSLF, so feel free to check those out there. And there is a new code, actually 2 codes for Jomashop. So those codes are Gents10 and Gents15. There is a small catch, a little caveat though. You have to use those codes through the Jomashop app in order to get them. So what I would suggest is if you're shopping for things on their website, you find what you want, go over to the app, add that stuff that you know, just search it up, add it, and then use the code. So Gents10 will get you $10 off any order over 180, Gents15, 15 bucks off any order over 250. So those are the codes for Jomashop. They do expire in September 18th to be exact. So just be aware of that. All the other usual codes, those stay what they are, but these new Jomashop codes are available. Let's go ahead and check out the presentation. Here we have the front of the box. You have the name of the fragrance, name of the house, size, concentration, all that. I went with the 100 ml size bottle. Again, Le Parfum is the concentration. It says MYSLF on the side. Up top, you have the YSL logo. On the back, you have your ingredients, you have your caution information, all the typical stuff. And on the bottom, you will find your batch code. My batch code 38Y2003. Here is the bottle, looks the same as the original MYSLF, only this one is with a matte finish instead of a clear black finish. And also the YSL logo is black, whereas on the other one it was actually kind of reversed, and you had like the matte coloration of the Le Parfum bottle on the YSL logo on the original. It's a pretty simple bottle, modern, clean, a little minimalistic. On the bottom you have a sticker with your badge code, YSL logo on top of the cap, and the cap does click into place. Let's go ahead and share a couple sprays. Here we go. And let's share a couple of the original also. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video with the original MYSLF, This one caught a lot of flack when it first came out. I was not super impressed by it. I absolutely got the appeal. The versatility, compliment factor, all that I knew immediately, like there's gonna be problems here. And by problems, I mean it's just gonna crush, and it did. The main issue for myself and a number of other people when it first came out was what I said before, that you can smell it and go, yeah, it's a little simple, it's not anything groundbreaking, but it's done really well. But when you wear it, always good reactions. You can wear it literally anywhere. The performance is perfect, not too loud, not too weak, and you just want to keep wearing it. And it became a fragrance that I have gravitated toward more and more and more. One of my most complimented scents ever since that came out. It's just a staple at this point. And this one runs $155 for a 100 ml size bottle, $125 for the 60 ml that I purchased. This one over here, the Le Parfum, is a little more expensive, which you would expect. It's $180 full retail for the 100 ml size bottle, $150 for the 60 ml. So doing some quick math there, this is $25 more than this, which honestly is kind of par for the course. It's not anything that's egregious in my opinion. You would expect a Parfum or a Le Parfum flanker to be more expensive nowadays. That's just the name of the game. And Yves Saint Laurent, for a lot of people, is going to be considered an upper echelon designer fragrance. So you expect them to be a little more costly than something from Versace, for example, or Coach. For most people, they think of it like Chanel, Dior, and then Yves Saint Laurent, kind of like those three up toward the top, maybe Hermes up there as well. So you would expect the price point to be what it is. And again, I don't think it's that egregious when you look at Y Le Parfum, for example, being $190 for a 100 ml size bottle. This is a little less than that. And then you have Y Elixir, which is $180, same price as this, but for a 60 ml instead of 100. So a little more expensive than the original, but that's expected. So with all that in consideration, I don't really have a problem with the price point, especially when you consider this should hit discounters and creep down a bit more than that and be a little more affordable in the not too distant future. So now to the most important thing, since we've talked about the price, all that stuff, how does it smell? And how does it smell in comparison to this one? Well, the first thing that you will notice is the Le Parfum version of MYSLF is a bit sweeter than the original, which you would probably expect since, you know, the whole vibe around this one is that it's more myself for an evening out or a date or, you know, situations where you want something a little bit warmer, a little sweeter, cozier, a little sexier, instead of something that's just super versatile, clean, and fresh. So that sweetness, you get more of that off the top here with Le Parfum. It still has some of that bergamot kind of vibe that you get from the original, but this has more like amber vanilla coming through even off the top. It's also got a little sprinkle of pepper in there, not too much. It is absolutely not abrasive at all. It's really smooth even as soon as you spray it on. Maybe actually even smoother than the original, the way that it comes across, because the original, you know, it's got a little zing to it when you first spray it on. Le Parfum is just like sweet, warm, and a bit fresh right off the top, but not as much of that like poppiness. As it dries down, that amplified sweetness maintains in the Le Parfum compared to the original. It's not overdone. This is not something where it's going into bubblegum territory, you know, super sugary territory or anything like that, which is a positive. It maintains that bit of classiness that you get from the original, and absolutely you can pick up the DNA from the original MYSLF in the Le Parfum. So this isn't something where it's like worlds apart. This is really what you would expect from a Le Parfum flanker. You know, this is not one of those flankers where it's MYSLF only in name, because you do have fragrance flankers from time to time that will come out and it'll be like, oh, Absolute or Parfum, Le Parfum, whatever, doesn't matter. And you get it and you go, that's not really all that close to the original. Is that much of a flanker at that point, or is it just a whole new fragrance that they threw into the same bottle and name to try to capitalize off of that? But no, that's not what's going on here. This is an evolution of this. You don't get as much of that, you know, kind of clean clothing aspect that you can pick up from the original MYSLF. That orange blossom comes across a little more subdued, a little more in line with the amber and the vanilla. So it's not quite as at the forefront of the fragrance as it is in the original. You get a little bit of woodiness also when you hit the far dry down in the new MYSLF, and it feels like it still has a touch of that spice from the opening in the mid, which again, there's not a lot of that in Le Parfum, but you get a hint. You know, it's kind of along the edges and then in the dry down as well with a little bit of woodiness that it has. And for me, YSL nailed this in terms of taking MYSLF, keeping most of the aspects of that still there, but then giving it that kind of vanilla amber touch that's really popular right now without going too far into smelling like a lot of other things out there and keeping it rooted in the MYSLF DNA. It would not surprise me if some people smell this and say, oh, it reminds me a little of this or a little of that in terms of other popular fragrances right now that are vanilla forward, because that is just really popular right now. That style, you know, having that in there is really popular. But to me, the thing it's closest to is this, but not so much that it's redundant to own both of these. When you smell this and smell this side by side, definitely different. It's just when you smell this, you recognize it as a MYSLF, which is kind of a weird thing to say. You recognize it as a MYSLF, too. Sounds weird, but you know what I mean. I think it smells great. It smells really appealing, super easy to wear. And I would imagine this is gonna do really well at stores. I would be shocked if it doesn't. They basically launched off into space with this one as far as sales numbers, and the first year crushed it. Then this comes out, a little evolution of that, taking what's really popular right now amongst a multitude of fragrances. I mean, all you have to do is, you know, think about, well, what popular fragrances have come out with vanilla forward, kind of, you know, sparkly scent profile? Ooh, there's a bunch. And while this doesn't have that same amount of sparkle as a lot of those big fragrances out there, Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Intense, Invictus Victory Elixir, etc., it still has a nice little bit of freshness there. And that bit of freshness in the opening melding with that sweetness and with how smooth this is done, how well it's done, the quality of this one, I think it's gonna crush. It's really easy to wear, just insanely easy, and that's gonna be one of the things people gravitate toward. Same thing happened with this. You know, I realized how easy I can just grab this, spray it on and go, and it works literally everywhere. And it's not just that it works, it's that it works better than almost everything else out there. That's what this does. Only for fall, winter, and evenings, and honestly, I would say spring as well, summer nights, as long as it's not too hot. Again, a lot of versatility here. It smells good. It smells really good. And my wife had the same reaction. She loves MYSLF. Again, sounds weird, but she loves this fragrance. And so she was really excited to smell this when it came in. So basically she was right there, took it out, sprayed it on, and she was like, oh yeah. And she said what I think a lot of people will think with this. She was like, it's kind of like the original in that it doesn't smell hyper complex in the sense of like, you know, all kinds of different things are happening and you're picking up this and now that and this and that and this and that. No, it's like blended together very well, very smooth, but it just smells good. You know, it just draws you in. And so with this one, did not let me down. I actually really enjoy this. I'm gonna wear it a lot as we head into fall. So whereas Y Elixir, bit of a letdown for me, this is not a letdown. Though I will say, this is absolutely gonna catch hate. No way around it. Big fragrance line, first flanker, you know, it comes out and some people are gonna say plays it safe with the, you know, changes that it's made. The vanilla, that kind of very smooth scent profile. You're gonna have some people that say that it's boring, that it's generic, that it's this, that it's that. That's gonna happen. And then I think as time goes on and more people wear this, it's gonna be one of those things where people come around and they go like, oh no, never mind, I was wrong. But yeah, be prepared to see a lot of crap on this, I think. at least initially. For me though, it smells fantastic. It smells fantastic. And if you're after a MYSLF fragrance, let's be honest here. If you're looking to buy one of these, you're looking for a fragrance that's gonna get you positive attention, that has good versatility, great wearability, the type of scent that you can wear in any occasion and gives you that boost of confidence because you know the overwhelming majority of people are gonna think it smells great. That's what you're after if you buy a MYSLF, right? If we're honest, nobody is shopping for a MYSLF that's like, oh, I want the most artistic, boundary pushing fragrance out there. That's what I'm looking for. You're not shopping for this. So as long as we keep our expectations in check, I think overwhelmingly people will be happy with this one. Great evolution, great step from here to here. If you enjoy this, you will enjoy this as well. I do think between the two, if you're going for just straight up as much usability as possible, still this one is gonna be the better one to get because this has more of a nighttime lean to it. This one is just, who cares, wear it whenever you want. But there we go, MYSLF Le Parfum, I dig it. The question is, where does YSL take it from here? Because for sure, this is not gonna be the last flanker in the MYSLF line. The question is, do they go straight to Elixir or do they play it differently and go with like a fresher one and give us MYSLF Eau de Toilette or something? Thank you guys for hanging with me. Again, I bought mine from Nordstrom. I would assume it's gonna be popping up everywhere. It was at least what I could see selling out because obviously they shipped it to me, so it's not like they posted it there too early. It was showing sold out, then back in stock, then sold out, and as of right now, still sold out, but I don't know how long that's gonna last for. It could be back up later today, could be a week from now, I don't know. But you should be able to go into stores anytime in the near future or right now possibly and give this a smell, assuming you have one around. I do not, so I have to blind buy everything. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.